Stay away from Christmas, Dad texted coldly. The family is tired of you. My sister reacted with a laughing emoji. I replied, then I'll stop touching the bills. 5 minutes later, I canceled every payment linked to their cards. They were giggling in the chat, but they have no idea what will happen next. I've never hated anyone the way I hated them that night. Christmas used to mean something to me. Not the gifts or the decorations, but the idea that at least once a year we could pretend to be a real family. Even if things were tense the rest of the time, even if there were silent fights or awkward dinners, I always thought Christmas was off limits. A kind of fragile truce we didn't speak about but respected. This year I should have seen it coming. 3 weeks before the 25th, I stopped helping with the bills. Not out of spite, I just wanted to see what would happen if I didn't volunteer. Would they ask how I was doing? Would anyone call? Would my dad just once offer to help me? Of course not. What I got instead was a text. Plain, cold, almost mechanical. Stay away from Christmas. The family is tired of you. That was it. No context. No warning. Just those 2 sentences. Like I was some outsider trying to invite myself to someone else's party. Then Jessica, my golden child, never wrong, always perfect little sister, reacted with a laughing emoji in the family group chat. That stupid yellow face bouncing up and down like this was the punchline to some joke I hadn't been let in on. They were sitting there, probably on the couch together, feeling proud of themselves. Dad had always favored her. She could do no wrong, not even when she totaled her car while texting or when she dropped out of school for the 2nd time. I covered her loans, I paid for her last-minute dentist appointment when she cried about not being able to eat. I even bought her groceries last month because she said she was in between jobs. I did all of that because I thought maybe, just maybe, she'd start treating me like a sister instead of a bank account. I didn't cry when I read the message. I didn't even feel sad. I just went ice cold. It was like something inside me shut off. So I typed one line back. Then I'll stop touching the bills. Not dramatic. Not emotional. Just a fact. They didn't answer. Not immediately. Maybe they didn't believe me. Maybe they thought I was bluffing. But I went straight to work. First, Jessica's student loans. I'd set up autopay months ago when she was too overwhelmed to figure it out herself. Gone. Then her car insurance. Canceled. Dad's truck insurance. Removed my card. Internet. The one they all used, even the cousins staying in their guest room. Disconnected. Water. Electricity. Streaming services. Everything I had set up, managed, or paid for, gone. They kept chatting in the group. Sending memes, pretending nothing had happened. At one point Jessica sent a TikTok of someone doing a little happy dance, and Dad responded with a thumbs up. They were actually celebrating. And they still didn't know. They didn't know about the gifts. I'd already bought Jessica a used Toyota Corolla, $12,000 cash. I found it through a friend of a friend. The title was already transferred to her name. I even had a giant red bow in my attic, the kind you see in car commercials, because I wanted to surprise her in front of the whole family. For Dad, I'd ordered a custom gold watch. Simple, classic, expensive. Engraved on the back it said, "To the best Dad." I'd spent hours choosing the right font. Both gifts were hidden in my house. I'd been so excited. It was going to be the Christmas where I finally got it right. The one where I showed them how much I cared and maybe, for once, they'd see me. But they ruined it. And they were still laughing. So I took pictures of the car. Of the watch in its black velvet box. I made sure the engraving was clear. And I sent them to the family group chat. Not just Dad and Jessica, but everyone. Aunts, uncles, cousins, all of them. No caption. Just the photos. Let them connect the dots. What happened after that? Well, things got interesting. The group chat went dead. I mean completely dead. No emojis, no sarcastic comments, not even a from Jessica. That never happened in our family chat. Normally it was constant noise. Memes, inside jokes, updates about whose kid was sick or who got a promotion. But after my photos dropped in there, it was like somebody had cut the cord. And that silence hit harder than their laughing ever did. I sat there staring at my phone, almost willing it to light up again. I knew what they were all seeing. A spotless silver Toyota sitting in my garage under a bough, the title already signed to Jessica. The box of the gold watch open on my kitchen table, the engraving "To the best Dad" shining under the light. All of it captured in perfect clarity. No captions. No explanations. Just proof. First came Aunt Linda. She broke the silence with, "Emily, is this real?" Then Uncle Mark. "You bought them a car?" My cousin Nina sent a shocked emoji, then a message. "Wait, what is going on?" Then my mom wrote the one thing that nearly made me break. "I'm so sorry, I just stared at it." Mom had always stayed out of it. Neutral, quiet, the peacemaker who tried to keep Dad from blowing up and Jessica from getting too smug. Seeing her write that felt like watching a dam crack. The rest of the relatives piled in and the tone shifted. It wasn't curiosity anymore. It was anger. Real anger. They wanted to know what was happening. Why Dad had sent that message. Why Jessica was laughing. Why I was the one who always gave and they were the ones who always took. Jessica tried to backpedal. This is out of context. Emily's being dramatic. He always does this. Then Dad tried his hand at it. We never asked for those gifts. She does things for attention. That's when I decided to end the performance. I didn't scream. I didn't insult. I just told the truth. I typed out every payment I'd made over the past year. Jessica's car repairs. Her student loans. Her dentist bill. Dad's insurance. The water, the power, the internet, the streaming accounts. Every time I bailed them out, every time I was told I was overreacting when I asked for a thank you. One by one. Line by line. No drama. Just facts. Enough to make the whole chat go still again. Then Nina, my cousin, sent me a private message. We've all seen how they treat you. We just didn't realize how far it went. That one made my throat tighten. Because part of me had always thought nobody noticed. That I was the only one keeping track. Mom called. I ignored it the first time. When she called again, I picked up. She didn't even say hello. She just breathed for a moment and then said she was coming over. She arrived an hour later with a pie she'd baked. She didn't even take off her coat, just sat on my couch while I stared at the floor. She said, "They're going to try and spin this. They're going to play the victims. You know that, right?" I nodded. I'd been expecting it. The fake apologies. The public displays of regret. Though we didn't mean it like that, speeches they'd give in the group chat once they realized everyone had turned against them. This time though, I wasn't going to be the one backing down. What Mom didn't know, what none of them knew, was that the car and the watch weren't the only surprises I had lined up. I'd been planning my exit for months without even realizing it. Cutting the financial strings was just the first part. And as the group chat started blinking again with Jessica's frantic explanations and Dad's blustering attempts to look innocent, I felt something new. Not anger. Not hurt. Power. They had no idea how much control I'd had over their lives. And they were about to find out. By morning, they'd gone from laughing to begging. It started with Jessica because of course it did. Her message showed up at 7:42 a.m., like she couldn't wait another second to start damage control. It was a multi-paragraph apology, complete with run-on sentences, spelling mistakes and emotional manipulation. She claimed the laughing emoji was about something else, said the message from Dad looked worse than it sounded, and that, "This is all one big misunderstanding." I read it twice. Not because I was considering forgiving her. I just wanted to see how far she'd twist herself to avoid saying the one thing she should have said from the beginning. I was wrong. He never said that. Not once. 10 minutes later, Dad chimed in. His tone was different. He didn't try to excuse it, he just deflected. Said I took things too personally, that I blew it all out of proportion, and that family drama doesn't need to be public. That's what bothered him the most, that I'd made it public. Not that they treated me like an unwanted burden. Not that I'd canceled payments they depended on. Not that I was done with all of it. Just that the relatives knew. That people were finally calling them out. And they were calling them out. Aunt Linda was relentless. She started listing things she'd seen over the years. How Jessica got praised for showing up while I was criticized for not fitting in. How Dad once made me pay for my own birthday dinner. How he bragged about me paying off Jessica's tuition like he had done it. Uncle Mark, who I barely speak to, messaged me directly. Said he remembered Thanksgiving 2 years ago when I brought a pie and Jessica made fun of it, and Dad laughed. I barely remembered that myself. But he did. Then Nina, my cousin, sent me a voice message. She said, we always knew something was off, but seeing it all written out like that, it's disgusting. I'm sorry we never said anything." More and more started trickling in. Not just sympathy, fury. These weren't small things. These were years of being treated like an afterthought finally coming into view for everyone else. I hadn't planned on revealing all of it. Honestly, I thought I'd send the photos and that would be the end. But now it felt like something had broken open. And I wasn't going to stop it. So I sent the receipts. All of them. The $12,000 I paid for the car. Title never transferred, keys still in my house. The invoice for the watch. Nearly $2,000, custom engraving, non-refundable. And screenshot after screenshot of bills paid. Internet, water, electricity, Jessica's student loans, car insurance, medical copays. All tied to my name. My card. My address. The group chat was quiet again after that. But not the same silence as before. This one felt like a held breath. I followed it up with a final message. Car's getting listed tomorrow. Watch is going to auction. I'm done pretending we're a family when it only goes one way. Good luck. Jessica read it. Dad read it. No response. That silence. That was the first honest reaction I'd ever gotten from them. By the afternoon, I had listings drafted for the car and a meeting scheduled with a local appraiser for the watch. I was done wasting time. Done with the hope that maybe they'd change. That maybe one more sacrifice, one more kind gesture would earn me a seat at the table. Mom sat on the couch the whole day, mostly quiet. Around 3 p.m. while I was going through some emails, she looked at me and said, "They're going to come here. You know that, right?" I did. I knew the moment the relatives took my side, the moment their reputations took a hit, they'd panic. And when Dad panicked, he got performative. Jessica. Tears. Apologies. Hugs. Pity party posts on Facebook about family rifts and forgiveness. They didn't care about me. They cared about how it looked. And now for the first time they couldn't spin it. That night I sat with my son, 13 sharp quiet, and we watched a movie together while I pretended I wasn't waiting for headlights to appear in the driveway. They didn't come that night, but I knew they would. And when they did, I'd be ready. They showed up the next afternoon. No warning. No heads up. Just the sound of tires crunching over gravel, and when I looked out the window, there they were. Jessica in the passenger seat of Dad's truck, both dressed like they were heading to a funeral. All black, serious faces, even her makeup toned down. Mom was in the kitchen when I saw them pull in. She didn't look surprised. She just set down her mug and said, "You want me to stay or go?" I told her to stay. Not for backup, but because I didn't want to be alone in the house with them. Not anymore. My son was upstairs, gaming with headphones on, completely unaware of the drama about to walk through the front door. I didn't want to drag him into it. Not yet. I opened the door before they could knock. Jessica had a gift bag in her hand, probably something she grabbed from a gas station on the way over. Dad had that blank expression he always wore when he was about to lie. I didn't invite them in. Jessica started talking before I could say anything. She said they'd talked things through, that maybe some lines were crossed, and that they were here to make things right. It was rehearsed, so fake it almost made me laugh. But before I could respond, something unexpected happened. Mom stepped into the hallway. She didn't say a word, just stood there, and suddenly Dad flinched. It was the weirdest thing. Like for the first time he was nervous. Jessica offered me the gift bag like that would undo everything. I took it just to shut her up, but when I looked inside I almost burst out laughing. It was one of those cheap knockoff watches, the kind you get at airport kiosks. No note. No price tag. Just a pathetic attempt to mirror what I'd once planned to give them. I handed it back. Before I could speak, there was a knock at the door behind them. We all turned. It was Nina and Aunt Linda. Neither of them had said they were coming. I hadn't invited them. But there they were, standing on my porch like backup I hadn't asked for. And suddenly I didn't feel cornered anymore. Jessica looked nervous now. Aunt Linda didn't wait for an invite. She stepped around them and walked right into the house like she lived there. Nina followed, giving me a small nod that said, "We've got you." Jessica tried to speak again, but Aunt Linda cut her off. "We're not doing this performance. You don't get to play humble after what you did." Dad's face hardened, but he didn't argue. He looked at Mom like maybe she'd defend him. He didn't. They kept trying. Saying they were sorry. That they'd had a rough year. That family should stick together. Then came the real twist. Nina looked at Jessica and said, "You're pregnant, aren't you?" I blinked. Jessica froze. That silence? That wasn't guilt. That was panic. Aunt Linda looked from one to the other. "That's why you wanted the car." Jessica didn't deny it. And suddenly it all made sense. The desperation. The timing. Why they thought they could push me out and still expect something from me. They wanted the gift without the relationship. They wanted my money, not me. Dad looked down at the floor. Jessica muttered something about not wanting to make it public yet. Too late. Mom didn't say anything. She just walked back into the kitchen and put the kettle on like this was just another afternoon. Aunt Linda gave me a look, not smug, not vengeful. Just done. I finally spoke. I told them I was happy for Jessica and I meant it. But I wasn't going to give her a car just because she was having a baby. That's not how this works anymore. If she wants to be a mother, she can start by taking care of herself. They stood there for a moment, realizing there was no script left to read from. No sympathy to weaponize. No image to salvage. Then Dad did something I didn't expect. He knelt. Literally dropped to one knee like this was some kind of ceremony. Jessica looked horrified. He said he was sorry. And for once I believed he meant it. Not because of guilt, but because he had no other option left. Jessica followed, reluctantly. Awkwardly. Like someone told her she had to. I didn't cry. I didn't gloat. I just told them to get up. This wasn't about humiliation. I told them I forgave them, because I wanted to move on, not because they deserved it. We sat down. Had tea. When they left, I stood at the door with Mom and Aunt Linda. The sun was going down. It should have felt like closure. But instead I felt hollow. Later that night, my son came downstairs and asked me if we were still going to the store tomorrow. He wanted to look at the new gaming console that just came out. I said yes and he lit up. He didn't know that console was already wrapped in my closet, along with the new clothes, the shoes he pointed out last month, and a few other things he didn't even ask for but I knew he'd love. That was where the car money went. The watch money. Into giving him the Christmas I never got. And that was the real revenge. After they left my house that day, I thought I'd feel lighter. I thought their apologies, forced or not, would untie something in my chest. But they didn't. If anything, I felt heavier. Not because I regretted anything, but because I realized how long I'd been carrying their weight, hoping they'd meet me halfway. Hoping they'd love me back the same way I kept trying to love them. But they never had. And they never would. What came next was almost surreal. Jessica started acting like nothing had happened. She sent me random TikToks, tagged me in some old photo from a Christmas years ago, added a heart emoji in the group chat when someone mentioned pie. Like we were fine now. Like the last few weeks had been some weird fever dream we could all just ignore. Dad went a different route. He started checking in on me, something he had never done. Said things like, just making sure you're good, and let me know if you need anything. It would have been sweet if it weren't so transparent. They weren't being kind. They were being strategic. They could feel the family watching. They could sense their status slipping. The messages weren't really for me, they were for the audience. Trying to look like they'd done the work. Trying to flip the story before anyone else could. I didn't bite. I gave short replies when necessary, but that was it. I stopped feeding the fantasy. And it was driving them crazy. Meanwhile, I was moving on, quietly without their permission. I sold the car in 3 days. A single mom with 2 jobs bought it for her daughter who just started college. She hugged me twice in the driveway. When she asked why I was selling it so cheap, I told her it was originally a gift. That was all I said. She didn't need the backstory. The watch. Sold it to a collector in town. Took a loss on it, sure, but it was worth every penny just to watch it leave my house. And then I took my son out. He'd been hinting for months about the new console. I got him that, plus everything else he'd quietly circled in the holiday catalogs. Clothes, games, the new phone case with the flames on it that I hated but he loved. I let him pile the cart high, and when he finally asked why I was buying it all, I just smiled and told him, you earned it. He didn't need to know what I'd let go of to give it to him. He just needed to know what it looked like when someone put him first. And just when I thought that would be the end of it, peace, finally, something strange happened. Nina and Aunt Linda invited just me to a pre-holiday dinner at their place. No Jessica. No Dad. No fake apologies. They didn't even pretend to be neutral. Aunt Linda hugged me tight and said, this year we're choosing who we celebrate with. It wasn't about revenge anymore. It wasn't even about making a point. It was about belonging, and for the first time I felt like I did. At the bigger family Christmas, neither Jessica nor Dad showed. Word was they weren't feeling well. No one bought it. People brought it up quietly, some not so quietly. One of the uncles joked that it must be hard to show your face when everyone knows who you really are. I didn't pile on. I didn't need to. I just helped with the dishes, passed around dessert, and watched as relatives who'd barely looked at me in past years now pulled me into conversations, into plans, into family. Then a few days after New Year's, something unexpected landed in my mailbox. A small envelope. No return address. Inside, a folded note card in Jessica's handwriting. She wrote that she was pregnant. That Dad was barely speaking. That she didn't know what she was doing. He said she missed me. That she knew she messed up. That she wished things could go back. There was no ask. No manipulation. Just her words. For once, simple and raw. And it hit me, she wasn't untouchable anymore. She was scared. Alone. And for the first time in her life, probably realizing what it felt like to need someone who had every reason not to show up. I sat with that letter all evening. Didn't cry. Didn't rage. Just sat. Because I didn't know what I wanted to feel. Part of me wanted to tear it up. Part of me wanted to call her. Another part of me wanted to drive it back to her house, hand it to her, and walk away without a word. I showed it to Mom. She read it slowly, folded it back up and said, whatever you decide, let it be for you. Not for the girl you used to wish she was. And she was right. Because no matter what I chose next, it had to come from the woman I am now. A week passed after the letter. I didn't respond. Not because I didn't know what to say, but because I didn't want to rush into anything out of guilt or some dusty old version of hope. I kept thinking about what Mom said, that whatever I chose, it had to be for me. Not for the version of Jessica I wished existed, not for some fantasy where Dad finally became the kind of father I needed, not even for the version of myself that used to bend backwards trying to earn a place at a table I was never invited to. Then out of nowhere, Mom called and said, they're on their way. I didn't ask who. I already knew. 15 minutes later, Dad's truck pulled up. Jessica got out first, slowly, like she wasn't sure if she should be here. Dad came around from the driver's side. His shoulders weren't squared like usual. No ego. Just something tired hanging off him. Jessica looked pale. Exhausted. Heavier somehow, and not just because of the pregnancy. Mom greeted them at the door. I was in the kitchen wiping down the counter even though it was already clean. I didn't say anything at first. I didn't go to them. I made them come to me. They stood there awkward and silent like kids waiting to be punished. And then it happened. Dad knelt again. Not dramatic this time. No performance. Just quietly lowered himself to the floor. Jessica followed reluctantly, knees hitting the tile like she didn't believe it either. I froze. I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't this. Dad looked up at me and said, "We're sorry." That was it. No excuses. No stories. No explanations. Jessica added, "I don't expect you to forgive me. I just needed you to know." They stayed there longer than they had to. Long enough for me to realize they were actually embarrassed. Not just about what they'd done, but that the entire family had seen it. That they weren't the heroes in the story anymore. I told them to get up. Not to be nice, just to stop the humiliation. I didn't need that. I said I forgave them. And part of me meant it. I was done carrying the hate. But forgiveness didn't mean I forgot. It didn't mean I trusted them. It just meant I wasn't going to waste another second being the broken one. We sat down for tea like we were strangers pretending we used to be close. Jessica asked how my son was. I answered in one sentence. Dad complimented the house. I nodded. The conversation was flat but not hostile. They left after an hour. When the door closed behind them, I turned to Mom. She asked if I was okay. I told her, I am. But I wasn't sure. That night, my son asked me why I wasn't going to Grandpa's house for Christmas anymore. I didn't know what to say. How do you explain to a 13-year-old that sometimes family isn't about blood? It's about who shows up when it matters. That sometimes the people you love the most are the ones who hurt you the worst? I just told him, because home should feel good. And it didn't. He nodded like he understood more than I wanted him to. I watched him play with his new games, wearing the hoodie I got him, laughing at something on his screen, and I realized this was the family I built. One that didn't run on guilt or expectations. One where I finally came first and not last. I may have forgiven them, but I wasn't going back. The door's not locked, but it won't open for just anyone anymore.